Brighter Side of the News is brought to you by Fiesta Kia. Discover the all-new Fiesta Kia located in the I-10 Auto Mall.
Just a programming reminder for you this evening. Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy will not be on tonight. We're going to be bringing you coverage, network coverage, I should say, of the Republican National Convention, which is underway right now in Milwaukee.
And hey, if you're a big fan of Late Night with Seth Meyers, keep an eye on his desk tonight because you'll notice a special cameo in tonight's episode, our NBC Palm Springs coffee mug. It made the road trip to hang out with Seth. Tonight's guests include Natalie Portman, Noah Kahan, and Micah Monroe. You can see the mug tonight. Be sure to send some photos to the station here, news at NBCPalmSprings.com. What else does he have on his desk there? A little action figure?
Looks like Letterman.
Is that Letterman?
Yeah.
Looks like Letterman.
Well, fun. Hey, yeah. Well, cheers, everybody.
Better these mugs than
These mugs? Yeah, I see where you went with that. Hey, to the late night show.
He's up.
All right, let's toast it over to Fred Roggin, who's got the latest with the Roggin Report. Hey, Fred.
Now look at this guy. Porch pirates. We've all seen videos like this. Thefts like this are sweeping the country. It can happen to anybody. The upstanding citizen picked the wrong package to pilfer. He took it from Olivia Sandusky's porch. We're off tomorrow. We're off Thursday for the RNC, but we'll be back Friday, and we'll be talking about those porch pirates. Welcome on in, and we were off last night, but tonight we'll start with an update on the Coachella Valley Animal Services. On June 16th, Mary Strong talked with Manuel Perez, who said he was in it till the end and he was going to get this figured out.
We're definitely taking, I think, the right step, and I'm going to prioritize this issue. Are we paying lip service? Well, potentially we are. Potentially individuals are. But I'll tell you what, not this guy, not this supervisor, not the 4th District. And I wouldn't be taking a risk, if you will, or I wouldn't be sitting here listening to the concerns of people that are dealing with this issue on an ongoing basis if I didn't care. Look, what I'm going to ask for after today's conversation, because it didn't come up in the first one that we had, is the budget, of course, and I want to see it itemized. And I think it's important that we're transparent with our budget like we should be with any other budget. I also want to make sure that we continuously have these conversations.
After that interview, Mary was banned from all meetings. And then in a bizarre development, Manuel Perez actually barred himself. He canceled the rest of the meetings. All anyone has asked for is transparency. Citizens aren't getting it, and neither are people that should. We are joined by the mayor of Palm Desert, Correa Quintanilla. All right, Mayor, thanks for coming tonight.
My privilege and pleasure to be here.
Okay, so you are the chairman of the CVAG Animal Campus Commission?
Yes, it's the Coachella Valley Animal Campus Commission.
Okay. The Mary Strong has done an awful lot of reporting on transparency and trying to get documents and understand where the money is going and how they're operating. What I find fascinating, in your role as chairman, you've tried to do the same thing and you've had no luck, have you?
I've had a lot of challenges. For example, we were asking for information on the projected fees changing, so we knew as a city what contracts we were going to approve. Still don't have it. We were told there was going to be a study session in July. Still haven't heard about it, still haven't had it, and our meeting is coming up on August 1st.
All right. So you have an opportunity and you have chances to talk with Manuel Perez, do you not?
Yes, after we had a 3-hour meeting where normally our meetings go 1 hour.
Okay.
And we had a huge turnout of public comments, which we want people to come and share their experiences and their concerns. And I'm a copious, obsessive note taker, so I've got 18 pages of my own notes that I then summarized and put together into a happy chart, broken down by programming information, financial need, pet owner education, municipal support, accountability, and transparency. I told him we are beyond people complaining. We are ready to move into action. We are ready to move into solutions. I still haven't heard back. I know that I presented this to our city manager at the same time, and he shared his concerns with the county. And instead of renewing her contract for 3 years to manage the animal services budget, I was able to successfully make it so there was only a 1-year
Are you referring to
renewal.
Aaron Geddes?
Yes, the director, and I just say she in terms of the entity who's managing, because we can't get transparency and answers from her.
I find it really fascinating that in your role as a community leader and someone that basically is the mayor of Palm Desert, you can't get any answers? Well, what's the big secret here? What's the big secret, Mayor?
I don't know. If we were able to get more numbers, we would be able to look through and find out where things are. It took so many times of asking and saying, okay, give us, the commission, the information of what each city is paying so we know what we're getting. What are the services? Do we need more spending, or do we need this city need more? Does it need less? Why can't that come out into the open? Why don't we get a budget the way any other commission or committee shows up and says, here's our accounting practices? Why can't we get that? We are told here's what the county spends, but in that breakdown in the county report, we don't have it. We're 38% of their budget. 38% of the county's allocation is going here.
All right.
But we have some of the highest rates of euthanasia and the lowest adoption rates. It's cruel. It's cruel. And people are no longer sad for the animals. We are angry. We are angry that this is someone's furry family member. And the decision from the director to not follow the state law and the county mandate as a county employee, to not follow the mandate that says, yes, in fact, you do have to spay and neuter every animal before they're sent out to the world.
All right, Mayor. So who oversees this? I mean, you present a compelling case. I brought up Manuel Perez. Who oversees this situation? Why can't anybody get to the person in charge and say, we've got a problem here? Who is that person?
I would love to know. I would love to know exactly the org chart within, again, that county budget. It does show the organization chart for the Department of Animal Services, but I haven't looked at the county-wide organization chart to see who. But I know that the conversation with the city manager, he did speak to the CEO of the county. It's not like nobody's heard about this. It's not like it's a dirty little secret. It's not like we're trying to hide it. People are upset, and they have every right to be. They have every right to be.
Mayor, you know the old line, follow the money. What do you really think's going on here?
I wish I had more transparency to say, why is this number being inflated? Why has this number grown from 2021 to 22 and the projections and so forth? The way any city has a budget. How come we can't get that breakdown directly for each of the campuses? I don't know what's going on with the other animal shelters that the county manages. We're even getting to this level of advocacy here because we have a commission that was established by Corky Larson, the former county supervisor. We're unique in that way. I can't imagine the level of obfuscation. I say obfuscation. It's not people that don't know. That would make it seem as that they're not trying to know. People are prevented from knowing what they're doing. And every person here in the Valley needs to know that your share of property taxes, your share of all of the taxes that you pay to the county are being sent here, where people assume that we're a no-kill shelter. And no-kill means that 90% of the animals that are brought alive leave alive. And 10%, again, they may be beyond saving and illness and injury, but we're nowhere near that. And they have turned away people that have wanted to help, out-of-state activists and out-of-state experts, local experts, people here that said, please, please, let me take that animal home. I want to foster. And they're heartbroken, showing up to these meetings saying, I've tried, I've called, and I can't get a call back.
All right, Mayor, so now what? Because that's really where we're at every time we have one of these conversations. Now what, Mayor? Now what do we do?
The now what is keep being vocal. Keep being vocal. Things will not change until people get louder and louder. One person being frustrated becomes a group of people that become vocal, and people will have to start paying attention when there's a group of us. And that's what's growing. And I say us because I will not have my name to be complicit on anything this unethical.
Mayor, we appreciate you coming in tonight.
My privilege. It's about the animals. It's about our community. It's about advocacy. And I invite everyone on August 1st. We'll be having at 9:30 in the morning at the Thousand Palm Shelter, the Coachella Valley Animal Campus. Please, I encourage everyone to come. You get 3 minutes, but as many people as we get there as possible. I don't care how long it takes. People deserve to be heard. Animals can't show up and bark and tell us how the circumstances are. We need people to speak on their behalf.
Thank you, Mayor.
My privilege.
And we will talk more about this in a couple of minutes. We missed y'all yesterday, but we knew that even if we weren't here to remind you, you were still being a good neighbor. Wink has some medical equipment. Who needs it? Carol is looking for someone familiar with astrological charts to give her a reading. Sherry is brokenhearted that the Bonds in La Quinta is one of the casualties of the Kroger-Albertsons merger. And Emily in Indio needs to recycle a dead golf cart battery. Where can she go?
We're in the desert. Give us your hot take. Find Fred on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fred Roggin.
You can also email thedesertdean@gmail.com. Don't desert us in the desert.
There's a new revolution taking Palm Springs by storm. Yes, the thrill of the race, you place a bet, then your excitement takes over, and at that point, there's absolutely nothing you can do. You just have to face it.
They're moving into the gate. Off the race. As they go away from the gate, take another kilometer, take the lead of about a length. On the outside, here's the great dog moving along in second place, going up along the inside, Stephanie.
All right, still to come in our program tonight. Reaction to the mayor of Palm Desert. A new company revolutionizes local theater. And Newsom says no to outing transgender kids.
We love it when you contribute, but please make it a note, not a novel.
Oh, and no, I can't pay your water bill. Find Fred on Facebook and Instagram at Fred Roggin or email thedesertdean@gmail.com.
When people choose to vacation in a city known for theatrical performances, Palm Desert or Palm Springs doesn't normally cross your mind. Well, here's an interesting factoid. The good people at the Revolution Stage Company are hoping to change that. And judging by what they have done so far, they're off to a pretty great start. Our community guide, Steve Summerall, tells us more.
Since opening their doors last October, they have presented some unique acts from around the world.
And then someday, you leave me for somebody new.
They have put the spotlight on some local talent. As well as finding their own troupe of talented performers.
This past year we did 223 performances.
So, how does the Revolution Stage Company celebrate a very successful year?
Susan Friedman, Roy Boucher, sitting back there, great writer here in the Valley.
By honoring the locals who have helped to make it all possible.
We've had such wonderful support from the community. This is our seat sponsorship extravaganza, where each one of these people here today have sponsored a seat for $500. And we got brass plaques with their names and on all the back of the seats. And we're just really excited about all of the support that the community has shown us here today.
Believe it or not, this quaint little desert venue does have a direct link to the Great White Way. That would be the establishment's owner, Gary Powers.
Moved to New York City. I planned to work in the theater however I could. I went into a theater one time and I said, I'll do anything I can to work in the theater. And they said, do you want to pick the bubble gum off the bottom of the seats? So I did that. And then they gave me a job in the box office. And I worked in box offices for over 3 decades. The last 20 years on Broadway, selling tickets to Broadway shows.
It's been a wild ride, but we have a lot of great people working for us, great staff, great company of actors and singers, and our upcoming season is going to be, I think, even better.
Earlier, we had the mayor of Palm Desert on talking about the Coachella Valley Animal Services. Let's welcome in our contributor, Stephanie Miner, CEO of Success for Nonprofits and founder and CEO of FG Creative, Stephanie Greens. It's always fun when the Stephanies are on. So we'll start with Stephanie Green. You heard the mayor. What do you think?
I have to agree with her outrage, although I'm not sure of all the details. In my heart, I want to think that these shelters do whatever they can to help the animals and to get them adopted. I've adopted from that shelter a few times and never had a problem and have never seen any of this. But I also do believe she's getting stonewalled and we're not getting all the information. So I'm sort of confused by all of this.
All right, Stephanie, are you confused?
Well, no, I think that I completely agree with the mayor. At this point, we need actions and solutions. This has all got to stop. There has got to be transparency. I'm not sure what's going on with the supervisor, but I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and hope that he's doing something behind the scenes. And then we have the mayor who's pressing really hard. I think as many of us as possible should show up on August 1st and let our voices be heard.
All right, why can't anyone find out what is going on, and why won't someone in the county do something about it? Stephanie Miner.
I do not know. I'm perplexed. I'm serious. This makes no sense to me. This is not how our county is run. This is not what I've seen. And so I'm hoping that this continued pressure by this news station will help to open the door, shed some light, and get us all the transparency that we are all asking for. And I'm really proud to be associated with the city of Palm Desert. What a great interview the mayor just did. I really believe everything that she said.
Stephanie.
Very well said. I couldn't agree more. I'm also don't understand why a county government using my tax dollars won't tell people what they're doing with those tax dollars. Somebody's in charge of this. Somebody knows where the money's going. And I think they need to be held accountable.
All right. Right now, there are 8 states that have passed laws requiring school staff to forcibly out transgender students, meaning notify parents. That will not be the case in California. Monday, California became the first state to stop school districts from notifying parents if their child starts using different pronouns or identifies as a different gender than what's on their school record. It's a first-in-the-nation policy. It makes California the first state to explicitly prohibit what critics called forced outing. Money on the other side see the law as an infringement on parents' rights. Stephanie Miner is a parent. Would you want the school to notify you?
Listen, you got to have a good relationship with your kids. These schools are some of the safest places for kids who are having problems, not just with their gender identity, but with abuse. So I'm for letting kids be safe at school. And it's up to us as parents to be able to connect with our kids so that they feel comfortable enough to come talk to us about these things. I don't believe in outing out the kids. I think that's dangerous. And there's a lot of people who might commit suicide because of it.
Stephanie.
Couldn't disagree more. I don't know why all of a sudden the parents are the bad guys. The school, they're not their kids. And I think the school has a responsibility to teach children a good curriculum. I don't think they have the right to make decisions for the children. I think the parents should be involved in all of those decisions.
All right, so if there's a happy medium, what is it, Stephanie Green?
I don't know, because both sides are so far apart. No one's willing to come to the middle and have a discussion about a way to do it that helps both sides. So again, I wouldn't know where to start with it, but I don't agree with taking away parental rights.
Stephanie.
So I think that there could be some middle ground if perhaps they roll out some counseling or some education for the parents and the kids. I just think that, again, I just want to remind people, for many, many kids, School is the only safe place that they have. And so I agree with this. I still love you, Stephanie, but we're just going to disagree on this one.
All right. Stephanie, thank you very much. No relief in sight. Looks like we will be in the triple digits for the foreseeable future. Let's find out what's going on in super weather.
No, 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 ma'am, no, sirree, no.
I don't know what it was either. I thought it was funny. All right, Paul, the people's weatherman, the plumber. How does that make you feel?
It's hotter than a stolen tamale.
All right, coming up in a few minutes, something indisputable.
Hey, did you know Queen Elizabeth II had a stand-in to make sure the sun wouldn't get in her eyes?
All right, coming up here in about a minute and a half, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something. You're not going to be pleased, but I'm going to let you know right now, it's not my fault. Don't blame me. Now we'll do comments. On the topic of whether Palm Springs should give more funds to the gay pride celebration, here's what Richard had to say. Firstly, I hate parades, but that particular celebration brings in a lot of money to the local businesses. Just saying. On a topic about California committing billions of dollars to put windmills out at sea, Denmark has had offshore wind machines since 1991, according to Marion, hardly new and unproven technology. Kathy had this to add. Offshore wind farms have been around since the 90s. They are used by many countries around the world, including the U.S. on the East Coast. And a comment from Terry, which absolutely made our day. I haven't watched NBC News since Gino Lamont and his group left. I stopped watching tennis to watch your show. It's great, it's relevant, it's helpful, and it's informative. I like what you post, the folks you have on, and your attitude. I sincerely hope you continue. You are good for Palm Springs. Well, the good news is I work on 24-hour deals, and I've been renewed for one more day this week. And the reason I've been renewed for only one more day is because tomorrow we have coverage of the RNC, as we will on Thursday. So we will be back on Friday. We'll have your comments about the animal campus, because I've received quite a few. And we'll also tell you about those porch thieves. We'll have a report on that. Now, the news I don't want to tell you, but I must. And don't blame me. Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy will not be on tonight. I know. We're going to turn it over to NBC News for coverage of the Republican National Convention. Have a great night. Thanks for watching, and we will be back with you on Friday.